Okay, go ahead, get started. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome in, welcome in. I am Coach Nye, and this is the leadership through the women of the Bible, standing in purpose, leading with grace. That's what this series is about, standing in purpose, leading with grace. Um, going to give you your psalm, your scripture that we open up with. We'll talk about that and we'll get into it. And then before we get started, we're gonna do a recap of class 6. So this is class 7. This is Hagar, right? So this is leadership and rejection, resilience, and being seen by God. So in class 6, we studied Sarah and the leadership lesson of faith, waiting, and identity transformation. That's what we studied with class 6 with Sarah. So Sarah's story teaches that waiting seasons are not wasted. Those waiting seasons are not wasted. They are developed. What they do is they develop character and they strengthen your faith and prepare leaders for what God has promised. We also explore how impatience can lead to costly decisions, right? But God still remains faithful to his word. So this class, or class 6, highlighted how God transforms identity over time, reminding us that our past does not define us. God promised is what defines us, right? So stand in power, leading with grace. So class 7, Hagar, in leadership and rejection and resilience. So Psalms 139:1, you have searched me, Lord, and you know me. So the primary scripture for this class is Genesis chapter 16, 1 through 16, and Genesis 21, verses 8 through 21. So the context of this is marginalized women or marginalized woman, right? And God reveals himself as Elroy in this in these chapters. What Hagar, that's what she called him. So let's get into it. So Hagar's story reveals how God meets people in their deepest pain and how leaders can emerge from experiences of rejection and survival. So that's what this all about her. That's pretty much what it is shown. So it teaches us, hold on, let me get back over here. Okay. Okay. And leaders can emerge from experiences of rejection and survival. So let's get into number one. God sees the invisible and the overlooked. All the ones that feel like they're not seen, and all the ones that feel like, God is not with them. God sees the overlooked leaders. The ones that feel like, okay, God, everything great goes for this person. Everything good goes for this person, but for me, why not me? And God is not overlooking you. No, he sees you. So Hagar's story begins in pain and rejection. She was back and forth. So, as a servant in Abraham and Sarah's household, she had little control over any of the circumstances, even after becoming pregnant. After becoming pregnant, conflict arose and Hagar fled into the wilderness. We all know the story. She fled into the wilderness feeling forgotten and mistreated. But God told her to go back, right? Isn't that something when you're going through and God will send you back? Well, God, I'm running from it. And it's because we're running from our own understanding, not from what God told us to do. So he told her to go back, but she felt, and that's the reason why she fled, is because she was feeling forgotten and mistreated. Now, but in the wilderness, that's when God met her. Is in the wilderness, Hagar, she encountered God in a way that no one else in this story has ever encountered him. So she receives reassurance, direction, and a promise of her future. Sometimes when we're running away from things, God will show us the overall goal of who we're supposed to be or what we're supposed to be doing. What is our purpose, right? But it seemed like, how can I ever get there if I'm in this? How can me living in, all this chaos and hell get me to this? And that's the part that we have to take self out. And when we take self out, we allow God to guide our footsteps. So in Genesis 16:7, it says, the angel of the Lord found Hagar. Now, this reveals the powerful truth that God, regardless of what you're going through, He sees you. If you're invisible to the next person, if you're invisible to any man in this world, on in earth, in this world, He shows that you are very much seen in His eyes because He created you in His own eyes, right? In His own image. So Hagar later called what? She called God Elroy, and that's meaning the God who sees me. And that's in Genesis 16:13. Even when others overlooked her, God did not. So this is one of the only moments in the scriptures where a person assigns a name to God based on personal experiences. Based on the personal experiences. So Hagar's declaration shows that even though God had overlooked her, even though others had overlooked her, God did not. God did not overlook her. He did not look I don't know why I can't get my words out. He did not overlook her. So many people feel unseen in different seasons of their life, right? Whether in family, workplace, or communities, or leadership environments. In those seasons of your life, you have to remember people will judge you off the season of your life.